Those that are just joining, we're just hanging tight while we wait for anyone else who's joining us today. While we wait, I'm just going to play a couple videos introducing some of the things we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to mute myself and share these videos with you.
My name is Amanda Stichter, and I am the Chief of Operations here at Virtual Vision Computing. Virtual Vision has been a premier digital marketing partner for the service-based industry for more than 25 years, helping businesses just like yours succeed online through our expertise in website development, comprehensive digital marketing solutions, through the delivery of tangible, transparent results. We are also the only marketing company that offers a program that calculates your exact return on your marketing investment, providing a clear view of the results our efforts bring to your business. So, what sets us apart? First and foremost, at Virtual Vision, we are a smaller digital marketing agency, and we're proud of that. Our small but mighty team allows us to ensure a personalized level of service and solutions that match your business's unique goals and needs. We're truly a partner that's in your corner, freeing up your valuable time to focus on your business while we establish your online presence. With over 25 years of experience, Virtual Vision has the know-how to deliver success to our clients in the home services industry. In fact, our tools were developed in-house and have won awards in the industry for their value. These tools allow our team to serve you with unrivaled precision that has outperformed open source platforms time and again. Our comprehensive solutions deliver tangible results that drive growth and revenue for your business. We offer 3 primary tiers of service. The first is our advanced reporting solutions. Discover new insights and potential areas of growth through our customized reporting tools. Whether you work with Virtual Vision for your marketing or not, our reporting can provide you an accurate view of what's working and what's not. Our reporting also features our one-of-a-kind reporting tool, Leads to Jobs. We are the only marketing company that can use a tool like this to effortlessly calculate your company's exact return on investment on your digital marketing with the single click of a button. Our second tier is lead generation. Unlock the power of qualified leads through our lead generation packages, including our exclusive 5-star leads program. We provide a pay-per-verified lead solution where those leads are exclusively yours, not shared. Not a qualified lead, we dispute that lead on your behalf and we get the money credited back to your bank. And finally, our third and most comprehensive tier is our full optimization tier. This tier offers packages that combine our expert reporting and lead generation services with a high-performing, responsive website design. With websites that are custom built for your business on our award-winning software, we'll help you dominate the online landscape and outperform open source platforms, just like we have for hundreds of other companies. At Virtual Vision, we truly are a different type of company. We are here to be in your corner and help you succeed. We'd love to talk with you further and see how Virtual Vision could help your company. Contact us today for a free, comprehensive current marketing landscape evaluation of your business. We'll find out what you're doing currently that's working and where there might be opportunities for growth and where Virtual Vision could help you succeed. Contact us today.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone so much for joining us. It's a little weird to watch myself on a video. I think one of these days, maybe I'll get used to it. But after hearing me on a video, now you get to hear my live voice. So aren't you all lucky? We are so excited to dive in today to another one of our deep dive webinar series. If you haven't attended one of these before, we've been hosting these now for actually the last few months, maybe since September, really taking the time each month to focus on something that benefits the businesses that we work with on a regular basis, the conversations that we have and the questions that we hear most often. And we thought that this was a better way of really adding some value to what we know and do every day to those that we serve, rather than each of you having to ask us all individually, which you're still can totally do, but so today we're going to go ahead and just have some conversations surrounding the impact of qualified leads that and the impact that has on your business. Before we dive too far into things today, though, I want to go ahead and introduce the team that I have with me today. So I'm actually going to let them speak a little bit to themselves, just having them share a little bit what their role is at Virtual Vision, how long they've been here. And here's the clincher question, you guys. What qualifies you to talk about leads today? Don't actually answer that you aren't qualified, though, because then I might have to kick you off the webinar. So I am first, I guess I'll start by introducing myself, since many of you have to hear me talk a little bit. But today we are talking about lead generation, and I'm going to help guide some of our conversation. My name is Amanda Stichter, and I am the Chief of Operations here at Virtual Vision. I have been at Virtual Vision. Ironically, I've been asked this question more in the last 24 hours than I feel like I have answered it for a while. But I've been here for just over 3 years. But prior to coming to Virtual Vision, I have several years of experience working in marketing, running a marketing company, and getting to work one-on-one with clients. So I guess, does that make me qualified to talk about leads? I mean, we have this conversation day in and day out. I remember being a business owner and looking for leads. So not only related to home services, but really that conversation applies when you're running a business. And so we're happy to talk a little bit more about that today. With that, I will pass it to Andy. If you want to give a little information about yourself.
Sure. Thanks, Amanda. I appreciate it. I'm Andy. I'm the owner of Virtual Vision. I'm happy to be here today just to see the longevity of the organization. We've been here over 25 years, and as a company in this space, phones were barely a thing when we started the company. So you can imagine the transitions we've gone through. But today we are a 3-tier company with marketing, leads, and ROI reporting. We really look to be consultative, and just happy to be here.
Awesome. Kim?
Hi, I am the Senior Marketing Account Manager over here at Virtual Vision. I also lead the marketing team. I've been with Virtual almost 3 years. Next month is my 3-year anniversary. So I do this day in and day out. My job is literally to watch and figure out the best way to generate the leads. So I can definitely speak to how and where they all come from. So that is where I come from.
Awesome. And then Dylan, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm Dylan. I'm the marketing account representative here at Virtual Vision. I am the newest member on the team. I've been here just over a month, or just hit a month recently, actually. So it's pretty exciting to be here and be part of the Virtual Vision team. I have experience in marketing before coming to Virtual Vision, and I've also worked in IT. So it's a very unique kind of combination of skill sets for me. And most recently, my skill it was kind of in reporting and things like that. So my skill set is coming in and kind of looking at the reports and what we're doing to help communicate our ROI and leads and things like that. So that's kind of why I'm here. I've touched a lot of the reports that will be shown today. So, and I'm also here just to, watch the chat and answer questions too. So.
Perfect. You I was going to say, if any of you ask questions as we work through today, Dylan's going to be our one helping to kind of moderate those and then help us with our Q&A portion at the end. For anyone who's like lucky enough to get to work with Dylan, he's only been here for a short amount of time, but his reputation preceded him prior to coming to Virtual Vision, I think for literally like a year. Any of my friends who knew what we did here were like, have you talked with Dylan? Have you talked with Dylan? So we're so excited to finally have him a part of the team. Apparently it was a really long time coming. So awesome. Well, just kind of reviewing who we are as Virtual Vision. Andy hit it really on the head, but at Virtual Vision, we are a premier digital marketing partner, primarily in the service-based industry, but we do work with a lot of other industries here and there, but I would say we hone a lot of our marketing and our tools towards the service-based industry, restoration, roofers, HVAC, contractors, any of those. And we've been in this space for more than 25 years. We've had the privilege of really being trusted by a variety of highly respected industry partners, and we're really excited to be a digital marketing partner, as you heard me say in the video, that's truly in the corner of our customers. We want to not give you the tools to tackle the marketing things that are in front of you, but we want to give you the tools and also do that with you. Like it's you and us against whatever it is that you're facing. And that's the goal that we really aim to have with our customers. So as we look over what we're going to cover today, we're going to pack a lot of information into this short amount of time. So we'll probably dive pretty quickly through it. But again, please do not hesitate as we work through things to type your questions that might come up in the Q&A, and Dylan will be noting those. So we will have a Q&A time at the end. So they might not get answered in the chat, but if you're lucky enough, we'll get to answer them on air for you. So today, kind of the four main pieces that we're going to be covering are, number one, understanding what is a lead. Start super elementary, and where do they come from in the conversation that we're having. The second is data-driven lead qualification. Leads are great, but they have to be leads that actually benefit you. So how are we using the data to qualify those leads? Secondly, how do leads relate to your ROI? And fourth, how can we bring this all together and show some real life examples of some success stories where our team has been able to see these things really come to life? The key takeaways that we're going to be really walking through today are insights into the fundamentals of leads related to digital marketing, a clear understanding of what makes a lead qualified or unqualified. I do have to say that every spell check keeps telling me unqualified is like not really a word, and they would prefer that I use disqualified, but it didn't feel right to me. So I kept unqualified on my slide. And then the final takeaway of valuable insights on how lead quality directly influences your return on your investment, or what we're going to be speaking to a lot is the return on your marketing investment specifically. So let's really dive in and start with the foundational piece, understanding leads. Where do they come from? And I want to start with a really basic definition. This is not like rocket science here, but what is a lead? Really simply put, a lead is a person or a business that is interested in the product you sell. A lead becomes a lead because there's a starting factor of interest in that, of curiosity in what it is that they're looking for. So I want to move forward with that and kind of have Andy speak a little bit to what is a lead as far as how we look at it in our business. I guess Andy and Kim, this is kind of a tag team piece for the two of you, but what is a qualified lead? What is a lead in general? And then how do we look at that overall at Virtual Vision?
Great question, Amanda. I mean, you said it on the last side really the best, where a lead is coming in, it's just asking for something that they're servicing, whether it's, a roof or a water job or a mold job. That lead physically has to have that like interest in that, or that issue where they need to have it resolved. And if they have that, that makes it qualified. The struggle we see in that is that it maybe mold but mold that doesn't turn into a job. Our customers look at it like, okay, that's not a qualified lead, even though they have to pay for it because it's like the customer's calling in and I have a mold issue and a mold problem. But it's such a teeny mold issue and a teeny mold problem that it's like, okay, that's not mold. We're gonna change that up. The example I always use is mold on a shower curtain. Everybody hears that 1,000 times over. Is it mold? Yep, it is. But is it going to turn into a job? Absolutely not.
Right.
It just, you can go to the store and buy a new shower curtain for pennies on the dollar than what you're going to do to have it remediated.
You mean you wouldn't want to hire a company to come get that off?
I think I'd have to have my curtain replaced.
So true. If you weren't going to bring up your shower curtain example, I was going to do it for you.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't gonna, and then I'm like, all right, just use it. I mean, it's such a good example because it's such a visual thing, and it's the cost effectiveness of just going to the store and buying a new one to solve your issue is so pertinent.
Absolutely. Kim, what can you add to that related to communication and the different perspectives that virtual vision can have on a lead related to maybe how our customers might see that?
Absolutely. You can go to the next slide because that'll kind of play into this too. So as we said, we're playing with the word qualified, right? That's where we're really diving into that. That's going to depend on each client because there's going to be a restoration company that doesn't service the same way as another restoration company or things like that. And so month to month, we have these conversations with our clients. We try to really narrow in on what they consider qualified. And then if it is something to the effect of, we don't touch mold at all as a restoration company, we're making sure that we're changing things on our side and making sure that our tools and the people that we have on staff here are annotating and using things correctly so that it lines up with what that company wants. One of the things mentioned on the slide is we have red flag reports. We have call listeners that listen to every single phone call and are the ones that are listening to those keywords that we want to hear to have it be considered a qualified lead. If it is a qualified lead that we'd consider it qualified, but in the phone call they hear something of, we don't do that service, or that is not a service we provide, those kind of terminologies, they're going to mark that as a red flag, and our clients are able to get those reports so that we can always stay in alignment on what we are considering that qualified lead. So it's obviously always changing depending on the client, depending on the seasonality. But those are conversations that we have month to month in our account management meetings.
Anything that you, Dylan or Andy, would want to add to that?
I guess the only thing I would add is to reiterate that it's always unique per client. Kim said that best. One client will want to lead, another client will not, and that's just, it's not a standard process of, oh, you're a plumbing company, you want this. The best example in plumbing I know of is that some customers want just new construction plumbing. They don't want to do anything else, while the next one doesn't want any new. All they want are repair jobs. Right. They just want the leaky toilet. They want the leaky sink. They want the water heater that's broke. So that's it's very unique. It's not just, hey, I'm a plumbing company, can you market for me? You got to deep dive.
Absolutely. I think that's really good to point out. So looking at, now that we have that like foundational understanding of what a lead is versus what a qualified lead is, and I have to add this like caveat in here of actually a conversation that we hear often is, well, that's a returning customer, therefore that's not a qualified lead. And I don't want to use the word argue, but we'll usually like have a little bit of a rebuttal conversation when that's brought up to us, because while someone might have seen a truck on the road and you have that brand recognition with what was on your vehicle, when they go home or pull up their cell phone to search for that name, it's your digital presence that allows you to be seen through search. And so that's still a lead. Without qualified and concrete digital marketing, that information isn't going to be seen and is still necessary and needed. So I just wanted to throw that one in there. But I do want to quick talk about where we see leads come from. And I'll kind of touch on the first one, but then I'll hand it off to Kim to really speak to, as the team lead for our marketing team, kind of what they see from where leads come from. So the first place that we see a lot of leads coming from is the organic or the non-paid marketing. And there's kind of two different ways to look at this. You have organic, non-paid, that's digital. So through Google, through search engines, how you're indexed and what a user's intent is. So we're talking about things like the SEO of your website. We're talking about things like your keywords. We're talking about your reviews, all things that are not paid for by the customer. You might have paid to have a website developed, but overall, you're not paying past that for organic placement, not paid placement. You also have, like, outside of digital organic placement, things like your trucks, things like your brand, that still encompasses marketing and still encompasses non-paid marketing. So there's really that twofold facet of it. I'll put a little plug in here that I think it was last month, maybe the month before, one of these webinars, we talked about the top 5 questions that people ask about search engine optimization. So there's a little QR code here you can scan to go watch the recording of that, because we talk about a lot of these pieces. Because while leads can come from organics, it is not created for that avenue. So I put the video on here because in some of the YouTube shorts that I've done and in some of the conversations that I have, the best analogy that I can come up with related to SEO and leads is this. You have to picture SEO as the highway that's laid out before you. And the end destination is maybe, let's say, a user who really wants to get in contact with someone to get the water out of their basement. So highway, end destination, you need something to get them off the highway to their end destination. That is where lead generation comes in. SEO is the highway that guides the foundation to get someone to take the action, but lead generation is the actual, like, additional components, additional strategies that are required to bring leads into your business. Certainly, there are times when organics can absolutely produce a lead, but it's more rare than it is like the norm. So that's really the first place that that leads come from.
The next place that they come from is obviously on the marketing side of things. We start to look at ad types. One of the main ads that you'll hear about across everything is Google Ads. That is that pay per click ad where you're paying for the click and not necessarily the outcome of the click, but it's where you can really dive into keywords usage. You can really dive into more details about your company, that brand awareness. But again, it's a pay per click, so you're paying for that action. But as it says there, it's not necessarily, you're not paying for that, whatever happens after that. That is a great, like I said, great place to be for brand, for getting that brand out there, really stating what makes you special. Because obviously we know competition is getting higher and higher now. And having the ability to really say, hey, this is what sets us apart. This is why you should choose us. Really comes into play in these pay per click ads. Whereas on the other side of it, the pay per lead ads, we are paying for a lead. This is the side of it, does not have as much control over your keyword usage, does not have as much control over the verbiage in the ad. However, this is the side that you can pay and you can be able to dispute and get credited back the amounts that you pay for those leads. So this is what we would call the local service ads. We also have an awesome new tool called 5-Star Leads, which Amanda has another, I think, little something to do with. But these are awesome ad types because, again, you're paying for that qualified lead. If it is not, we are disputing it on your behalf and getting that amount credited back. So that's kind of both at play of different avenues that can be coming in to help you produce leads of not just the organic side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And real quick, just while we're on that topic, we do have another really great video that I wanted to share, walking through what that service looks like, specifically related to virtual vision and what we offer. So let me get my screen up here and switch screens that I'm going to share to just tell you a little bit about our 5-star lead program. And this time we get to feature Kim. So hey, it's not my voice that you have to hear this time. So,
and I also will never get used to seeing my face.
Okay, let me reshare my screen here.
Hi everyone, my name is Kim Michael and I'm the Senior Marketing Account Manager over here at Virtual Vision. I wanted to take a chance to explain our new pay-per-lead generating service called 5-Star Leads. This is a new service we provide and it's an awesome tool for all of our clients to use. 5-Star Leads is an unbranded ad that is generated in multiple sources inside and outside of Google. The reason I say unbranded is that it does not contain your company name, but rather will state a service type in the main city in your service area. The reason we do unbranded ads is it allows us to be running this side by side with your current marketing that is branded without causing more competitive markets. And it also allows for the removal of a pre-made bias or assumption that a person might make by knowing your company name. The ad shows that your company offers a service that is needed, and so the potential customer clicks on the ad and makes a phone call or fills out a form. This call is then exclusively, or this form is exclusively routed to you as a lead. This lead can arrive via phone calls or forms, as I stated. Each potential lead call is recorded and stored in our call management system, where then our US-based call listeners are listening to those phone calls and qualifying them as a qualified lead or unqualifying them. After this process is done, if it is unqualified, our call listeners are going into these sources and disputing these leads on your behalf to be able to get the cost of that lead back into the bank for you. So you are only paying per qualified lead. With this service, we also have the opportunity to do an answering service so that you are not missing any potential leads that could be coming in. Ultimately, the service offers an opportunity at another great lead generator that can work with your current marketing efforts that are already in place for your branded side of things. It helps to help grow your company with a potential another revenue stream. One thing that I wanted to show on here is what makes us different. As I said, these leads are exclusive to you as clients. They go directly to you. It is not like other lead generators that it is sent to 3 different leads and you have to hop to it. We do want you to be answering those phone calls as soon as possible. However, they are exclusively yours. You can see the results of these through our reporting. We do offer showing the lead counts, the disputed numbers, and the total spend for your bank on these leads. We do have that quality assurance as you are able to access the call management system that we use to record those calls so you can see the notes that are made for those calls, etc.
I'm going to go ahead and pause it. That way we can just make the best use of our time. But that was something that Kim put together really quickly because we have a lot of questions that get asked surrounding our our program and what we can offer. So I thought that that was just a really good opportunity for us to share that video with you that explains it a little bit more. For anyone who might be attending today that would want to learn a little bit more about that, that's certainly something that that we can get going for you. All right, let me go back to my main screen here. All right. So then, Kim, we've talked a little bit then through exactly, kind of what brings in those qualified leads, where they're coming from. So how does that then equate to the actual data that we're looking at when we talk about leads and the story that tells?
Absolutely. So 2023 has been a year of change when it comes to a data story here at Virtual Vision. We've really dove into what are our clients wanting to see, what do our clients need to see, what allows for us to be able to
Sorry.
show them, it's okay, to be able to show them the best story, and not just story, but transparency as possible. So we created quite a bit of new reporting over this last year. And then, as Dylan said in the beginning, he came in with brand new eyes and made it even better. Exponentially better, I think. He took what we had created and ran, and it turned out amazing. So you can see here, this is just an example of one of our clients. This is part of their weekly report that they receive, just at a glance of showing how their account looks. The date range at the top, this is a whole month to look at, but it just gives a quick overview of it. And then they have the ability to dive into these different sections with their different tools that we have available here at Virtual Vision. So what we really just wanted to be able to show is, here's what's going on in your account, that data story of these leads are coming in, where are they coming from, how much are they costing you, what is your ROI on marketing investment, and then what are the key things that we're kind of tracking, or the different things that you're showing up for, so that you can kind of see at a glance of how your accounts are actually looking in that lead world. So this is just an example of part of the tools that we've created to be able to help with that data story, to be able to know. And then we use these as account managers in our meetings per month to be able to really review with our clients and say, hey, how are things looking? This is where we're seeing your best investment. Let's put more money here. Or, hey, this is looking great. Let's really push organic this month. Let's work on our review count. Let's work on posting. Let's work on all these different realms to really see where the best investment is for that marketing investment side of things. And this allows us to do that.
Awesome. So, I mean, I think really, correct me if I'm wrong, but the bottom line of the data story is, we know we can get those leads, but then we want to make that end connection to when we've got the leads, what happens then? Where did that actually result? What did that result in for your business? Which I think is really probably the conversation that many have been interested in. And that has allowed us to really step into kind of a whole different role with our customers, and not even our customers, which we can get to that at a later date too, or at a different point in this time. But I want to then step from the idea of, we've talked about leads, we've talked about where they've come from, we've talked about the story that they can tell, but now I want to bring that all together into sort of the holistic view. So I don't know, it just popped in my brain now, but would have been great to put a Venn diagram on here, leads, where they come from, data story to the center. Did you like my sound effect?
Yep.
Of that centerpiece then of what is the connection between leads and ROI, the actual impact of qualified leads on your return on investment. And I'm going to hand it off to Andy here in just a second, but this is the foundational piece that I want to bring to light as we have this conversation. Working in this industry for so long now at Virtual Vision, it's only obvious, and yet maybe not stated enough, that leads are only the most valuable to our customers, to businesses, when you can actually see what it's resulted in. Your phone could be ringing off the hook, but if I don't know and can't tell you what happened after that phone call, what good is that lead to you? What good is that to be able to utilize in your decision making if you don't know? And so that's really the connection that we want to make here now. So Andy, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to you to kind of introduce and speak to a little bit of what we specialize in related to that.
Sure, thanks. So the leads to job tool, as Amanda said, brings in the leads, and we have to have that understanding of what that lead turns into. So when you're talking about a lead that comes in, a lead can show up in your CRM data, but that doesn't mean that it's actually income for you. So there's multiple avenues of closing rates that our account managers can talk to you about and understand. We want to see 100% of every lead inside of your CRM, because that way we know it's being followed up on. Mold is the biggest caveat of that, and many of the companies don't do like mold testing. So when a mold lead comes in and mold testing is needed, they refer that customer for the mold testing out to somebody, but it's not put into their CRM. And then who's actually following up on that lead? When we can work with you and you say, okay, the process needs to be tweaked and we need to put that in our CRM and tag that for a 3-day follow-up, and you call that customer back and say, yeah, I had the mold test done and it's mold, I need some help, thanks for calling. Then that customer or that lead turns actually into a customer and into ROI. Physically, when it's not followed up on, it's just a process failure. And we're really turning more into a kind of like consulting, where we're helping you understand that lead then turns into a job when there is better follow-up. So there's a kind of the 5-step process that Amanda has laid out here. It really is from start to finish of that tracking. And I kind of summarized it up without really reading and going through the 1, 2, 3, 4 process. But it physically is that the lead comes in, it's matched to your data, somebody's following up on it, it turns into a job, and then there's a value of money at the end of it. Hopefully that resonates with everybody. It's true in many different scenarios, especially even like a water job. Many companies just say, well, have you called a plumber to shut the water off? You know, there's water spewing from a water heater all over the place, not tracked in the CRM. They call a plumber, and then what happens after that? They should almost be out with the plumber at the same time to get to that next section. And it just pertains in each avenue of each business. It doesn't matter what the business type is. It's got to be tracked in the CRM.
Did you already, I obviously might have switched your slides a little late, but did you want to speak any more to kind of this different visual of the leads and how they match within leads to jobs, Andy?
Sure. It's pretty much the same. The lead has to, once it comes in, detailing lead with no match job. Oh, sure. The reporting that we have created when it comes in, quick example, our customers get a daily report of any job that doesn't show up in the CRM. That's the end result. And how does it get there? Well, the call comes in, it's tagged by our call management team within 24 hours. So we know within 24 hours, and usually it's less than that because it's by the next morning, because this process runs from like midnight till 6 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And by 7 in the morning, East Coast is all getting their lead no job report. So the person in charge of the call intake team can say, hey, this water job came in, but there's no physical job in our CRM. What happened to that? So there wants to be this flow, which Amanda has up here, of that lead that comes in and follows a normal process to then turn into a job. Mm-hmm. Again, I didn't really follow the diagram. I kind of just summarized it based off of what we've created and the knowledge of it. Yep. But the diagram really shows it and flows through it.
Well, and I think maybe Andy's just being very humble and doesn't want to say this, but, I think what's cool, and I almost just want to like scream it from the rooftops, for like no other marketing company offers this insight to their customers. 90% of marketing companies are happy to report to you how many leads they've brought. And and how qualified those leads were based on not real live people listening to those calls, but AI, which has its place. I am not going to put that down. But having someone that's on the phone that can verify whether or not that was a qualified lead, and then past that can tell you exactly what it resulted in. Was it closed won? Was it closed lost? Did it result in an estimate? Did you win that job? And then what was the actual income? Now, granted, and I'm sure Kim will probably touch on this shortly, but the tricky part of reporting is that, especially in the home services industry or the service-based industry, you're not going to see that direct result super quick, because jobs don't end in 3 days. They don't end in 24 hours. When you talk about restoration, like, you're talking a hefty span of time usually. And so I think it's important to note that when you look at reporting. And again, I'm sure Kim will touch on that, but we have yet to find a company that can offer this in that detail. And so this is kind of a shameless plug that this is something that we are so excited to roll out to our customers, and really, as Virtual Vision, sets us apart in the market. So we're going to kind of utilize then this idea, and we want to present to you a few different success stories and ways that we've seen this like really come alive, and come to life with our customers. And so I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Kim to kind of speak to these a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to the next slide. That's great. This is from our reporting. Again, this is what our clients get, the transparency they get. They can get this to the day before data. So it is very current and up to date, and it allows us to have these consultative conversations that Andy talked about earlier on of where is the best investment for you in your area. Obviously, we know everybody is not cookie cutter. We absolutely understand that. There are going to be certain clients that just do great in certain areas and not in other areas, and vice versa. And so we really wanted to be able to dive into that return on investment for the marketing investment, and making sure that we are being as transparent as possible. And so we created this. And as Amanda said, from what we've seen, we're the only ones that have it available right now. And it is an amazing tool for an account manager to be able to have this conversation, for Andy to be able to hop in on these conversations and have these consultative conversations with other owners. It has allowed us to grow our business and to help others grow their business as well, just being able to review that revenue. So you can see the return on investment is center of the screen. That is for the month. It's looking at your total invoice. So we're tracking those jobs that came out of leads. Only the marketing jobs that we have tracked from our leads are put here. We have the ability to pull all invoices, all estimates. However, we only state ROI for our marketing efforts, so we really can dive in on the marketing side of things. We can see the total invoice. We can see your expenses month over month. That's including ad costs, management costs for marketing side of things. And then you can see the investment on marketing for that ROI out of it. And you can see the year over year, which here obviously we know inflation's a thing. We know that jobs, getting people to pay jobs, especially in restoration, is very difficult. Getting insurance companies to pay. So it allows us to be able to watch those invoices, watch those estimates, help you guys as internal teams to be able to monitor those. We have the special reporting that comes out of this information, to be able to watch those, because we know, as Amanda said, things don't turn around in 24 hours. Things don't turn around sometimes in 30 days, but it allows us to be able to really watch month over month, year over year, as you see here, to watch the number of leads that became jobs for you guys, to watch those ROIs, what kind of estimates and invoices came out of those, the expenses, because obviously we know every year, depending on competition, those expenses can go up or down, and then be able to break down those expenses by the platform that they are coming from for you guys to be able to see. It allows us, again, to be able to see best bang for the buck, and be able to change up how we do things accordingly. So it's not only a tool for us to use to help manage our clients, it's a tool for our clients to be able to see as well, to understand why we're managing a client in a way that we are. So this is a multi-location. As you can see in the bottom right, we can see each location broken down. We are able to do that depending on how we have your account set up. So we can be able to look at per location, if you have multiple as a company, be able to look at per location of what that cost is coming in, and then be able to break out the ROI. And then we also have the ability to roll it up so that you can see company-wide, this is how we're looking. So this is the multi-location. Then Amanda will go to the next one, which is just a single location, a different page. But again, just breaks down those sources for us so we can see the invoice and estimates coming out of those sources, November's ROI, and here Dylan added in the projected ROI, because obviously we know when we're looking at a month, that ROI can sometimes be negative because you haven't been able to get invoiced amounts coming in those 30 days, whether depending on the jobs that you had coming in. And so we wanted to be able to show that projected ROI so that you can be able to see what should come out of it, looking at the estimate amounts. And then obviously what the true ROI is once all those invoices come in. But you're able to see those matched jobs at the bottom of the screen. You can see the matched jobs of 103 out of 223 qualified leads, which gives you a closing rate of 46%. These are things that we're constantly updating on our side too, as we're having conversations with clients of figuring out, okay, what kind of closing rate is best for you guys to look at? How can we update things on our side? We have a kind of test group that we talked to a couple different owners of, hey, what data are you seeing in your CRM? How can we compile that for you guys to be able to help with that ROI review? Because we know, especially as leadership teams, these ROIs are huge to be able to see, okay, especially coming into 2024, which Amanda will talk about at the end, planning for those budgets coming into 2024. What is the best way you can set your company up for success? This type of reporting allows for us to be able to do that, because we can look at it month over month or year over year, and then be able to plan accordingly coming into it. So these are a couple of the clients that we've seen great success with using these tools and being able to put that money where it needs to go. And then the last thing, I can just intro this. I don't mind. This is, as Amanda said, we've been reviewing leads. We're looking at leads, looking at qualified leads. This is another example of what it looks like to be able to see where the leads are coming out of. We can see the lead types on the left-hand side there. We keep track of those. Our call listeners tag every lead accordingly as to what is talked about in the phone call. And then it is tracked accordingly up and down comparisons for the previous month as to what's going up and down, especially right now. We definitely see certain things. The US is very dry right now, so we're seeing lots of ups and downs when it comes to certain lead types for restoration. And it allows us to be able to watch that. You can see the lead sources that they're coming through, whether that be organic sources like business listing, Bing organic, Google organic, Yahoo organic, or whether it be a contact form that came through your website or an ad of some form. You can see the different sources, and then that month over month for the whole year at the bottom of the screen. This is a report that our clients receive weekly of updated, and then they can access this daily if they want to. But it looks over the different types and then breaks down that, as we looked at the other screen on here as well, it shows that closing rate, looking at the total jobs that came out of how many qualified leads, which give you that total closing rate. And then obviously how that closing rate has fluctuated over the last month, because it compares month over month. So just again, more knowledge for us, more knowledge for our clients, better transparency to be able to see and adjust accordingly to what needs to happen for that client, because not every client is the same.
Absolutely. So kind of bringing it all together, we know we threw a lot of information. You know, I think sometimes we find that that's probably one of the most challenging parts of our job, is that we know that what we're putting together and doing is very detailed and requires a lot of explanation, and that is okay. And so we tried to kind of encompass a lot of that into today's time. That being said, I'm sure there are questions. So I'm going to pass it off to Dylan, who's going to be kind of the moderator for our Q&A time today. And we'll, Dylan, we talked a little bit. So, maybe pick 3 or 4 questions that we can wrap up pretty
Sure.
quickly here.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, so looking at the questions here, one of them that we got is, are there best practices to follow to bring in leads? So what are like some best practices that you guys can maybe mention that would help bring in leads for people?
Okay, I have to jump real quick into this to say the thing I say literally every time I speak anywhere, which is don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't. I thank you for laughing because I say this everywhere and maybe every month at a webinar. But if you are putting all of your eggs in one basket for leads, I just feel like it's setting you up to fail. So that's like my number one best practice recommendation.
I would say the sum of the whole is better than the individual parts. It's really the same thing, just the opposite of what you said.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same. It's you can't put everything all on one thing, because as soon as there's a discrepancy in that one thing, you're sitting there going, where are all my leads? Where are all my leads?
Mm-hmm.
So we see leads come from all over. There are some performers better than others. Like you said, organics is a little bit less and less. Pay per click, pay per lead is a little more and more. But again, they still come from all the different areas.
And I think one thing that Andy spoke to too is not just watching where we bring in leads, but watching what you do with them too makes a big difference.
Oh, for sure.
That follow-up has to happen, and a lot of internal adjustments have been made because of the reporting that we provide for our clients. Because we can bring you in leads every day, but if they're not being followed up on, what purpose are those leads for you as a company? So that's also another side to that, I would say.
Yeah, just the follow-up, getting that closing rate from 40 to 50% is, it doesn't seem like a huge percentage jump, but that can easily add $500,000 to your business in a year.
Absolutely.
Wow. All right, so another question that we have is, how can I stand out from my competition to get more leads?
I can speak to that quick. One huge way, which I think Amanda has literally preached in every webinar that we've had, and I think is a topic in every time that she spoke at different places, is reviews. I know that's an organic item, but reviews play into paid ad side of things as well. You putting out, having the best foot forward on your digital platform provides the ability for more leads to come in. And then more transparency for people looking at your company as well. I mean, Google has even said 4.5 to 4.9 is the sweet spot for a rating for your company, because 5.0s nobody believes anymore. So they want to see that holistic view of your company, whether that be in a rating, a review, or be on your website and an about us page, meet the team page, be in your ads stating what you are, what you represent. Just putting your best foot forward as a company really can provide you a higher ability to get more leads. And that, I mean, one of the key ways that we do that is through reviews.
Which, as a side note, we'll be sending this out afterwards, but we're hosting a second webinar this month, actually. So you get double duty this month. Yeah. You're just not in it, Andy. Sorry. We are actually, meeting. What'd you say?
End meeting.
End meeting.
Leave.
We are hosting a webinar here just 2 weeks from today, same time. Specifically related to reviews and how those help your business stand out organically online. We'll be doing that in collaboration with our partner Uberall. So be sure to check your email to get a registration link for that. It's also, you can register on our website as well, but that's going to be a really valuable conversation related to a lot of what Kim just said.
Nice. I would have to say, regarding making yourself stand out. You know, companies are in the home services realm the same.
Mhm.
Plumbers are plumbers, roofers are roofers, HVAC are HVAC, restos are restos. They all do the same thing, basically. But when you add the community involvement piece and you're
Mhm.
a little vocal about it, not terribly, but just so you're putting it out on your social media. So you're putting it out on your website in different avenues. You're sending some emails about it, but you're participating, whether you're helping a grade school hit their goal for a fundraiser or whether you're sponsoring a professional football team. It doesn't matter. And we have both of those avenues. That's why I used both. We have um, two different customers that are at the opposite ends of spectrum, but they're both involved in their community. And that does show that value and makes you stand out.
100%.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think we have time for one more question, and there's this one that I think is actually a really good question. So I'm gonna ask you guys it. Do do you or do they have to work with Virtual Vision to use our ROI tool to get insight on leads? So do they have to work with us, or how else can they get this information?
Andy's shaking his head. Yes. I'm assuming, yes, that's a great question. We could probably all answer this in unison, but the answer is no. You do not have to work with us. Our leads to jobs or return on investment tool was not created with the intent of exclusivity to our clients. We are very happy to report on what we are doing. But we have used this tool for customers who have come to us to just say, I just want to know on my own if what I'm doing or who I'm working with is telling the truth in that. And that's what we created it for. It's meant to be a standalone piece. Certainly we can find a lot of detail based on the report and help solve a lot of those questions or, answer a lot of those questions. But no, you don't have to work with us to utilize that tool.
Good question. Kim said it best. It drives consultative conversations in our account management team. It allows us to say, get that closing rate from 40 to 50%. It's going to close 2 more jobs a month. And at your average rate, that's going to add $500,000 to your business. It's as simple as that statement and a number to look at that allows us to help these customers.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'll go ahead and kind of wrap up our time here today. We appreciate all of you that have joined us. And again, I just want to encourage you to attend any webinars that we have in the future. There should be a QR code on your screen. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, or you want to see, if there's some lead gen options for you, want to talk about any of that reporting, you can scan this QR code and just schedule a quick 15-minute conversation with us. Tell us what your questions are. We will get some things working to see if we have some solutions for you. The other piece that I just want to quickly mention is that as it's December, we are all hustling to prep for 2024. And in that, we understand that a lot of companies are looking at the things that they need to update in this time, but might be thinking, well, that's probably not doable for us. We are offering a super limited number of end of year 2024 marketing boost packages valued at over $4,000. These really can function as a very quick way to set your business up for success. So if you are interested in that, you can scan this QR code and it'll schedule some time on my exact calendar where I'll just explain what this is to you. No questions asked, no pressure, just to see if this might be a fit for any of our listeners. So again, if you guys have any questions, we would love to hear from you. We'll go ahead and end our webinar here. While people leave, I'm just going to play one final video that just talks about our leads to job service and what we offer, and what helps us stand out. But truly, sincerely, from all of us here at Virtual Vision, we are so grateful to have you join us. So grateful for all of you that partner with us. And if you don't partner with us, we would love to have you. So awesome. Thanks everyone for coming.
No more guessing. No more hours lost doing manual calculations or data gathering. Every minute spent on calculations is $1 lost for your business. Say goodbye to endless spreadsheets and hello to precise ROI insights. Introducing Virtual Vision's one-of-a-kind Leads to Jobs tool. The Leads to Jobs platform seamlessly connects to your job management system, matching leads to actual job data, notifying you of missed opportunities, and providing you with accurate ROI insights. No other tool on the market offers the comprehensive capabilities and transformative impact of Leads to Jobs. Save valuable time and resources by eliminating manual calculations and data chaos. With Leads to Jobs, you can focus on what matters most, closing leads and growing your business. No more guessing. No more relying on incomplete data. No more manual calculations. Leads to Jobs return on investment reporting. See transparent results and get a greater return.